Oh, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. So, Charlie Cox confirms Daredevil Born Again will attempt to appeal to a slightly younger audience. Before I even read, this is the problem with Marvel. I can't even say I saw this. I didn't see this coming. When Kingpin ended up being the bad guy of Hawkeye, I didn't even watch all of Hawkeye. Uh, and he ends up showing up on the MCU to be a one night stand for She-Hulk. And he's doing the walk of shame in his gear at night from her place. I'm like, this is not going to go well. And I'm like, once I heard that they brought it back initially, because I heard they brought it back some time ago, after it was over Netflix, I was like, okay, good. But as time and time and time, as far as the love for this show, a knot built up in my stomach. And I'm like, not seriously, but I'm like, this is not gonna go good. I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna give you my take. Much to the dismay of very few fans who were still holding out that Man Without Fear would survive his jump to Marvel Cinematic Universe without being Disney-fied, Matt Murdock actor Charlie Cox has confirmed that rather than continue in spirit of his original Netflix series, Disney Plus upcoming Daredevil Born Again will attempt to appeal to a slightly younger audience without losing what we've learned about what works. So, this is why DC has its issues and Marvel has its issues. Marvel, like most of Hollywood, has picked up the banner to where everything has to be agenda driven, LGBTQ, um, MCU is commonly called, because of what's pushed in the efforts. Rather than building strong women characters, they normally push the men down to dumb levels to big up the women characters. You case in points, Captain Marvel, and most shows and movies that came out after that. As a Marvel fan, I grew up with Marvel comic books. As we speak, I got a giant stash of Marvel comics that I'm still holding on to. They're probably not worth value, but sentimental value. You cannot make every character for kids. Slightly younger, 15, 14, so what? You're not going to have the deaths that you had in season 1. Vincent D'Onofrio's version of Kingpin completely shattered my mind. Now, mind you, I grew up on Kingpin from Spider-Man. Spider-Man, that Spider-Man from Fox. He made Kingpin seem like a terror. While when he was in the Hawkeye thing with Kate Bishop, he seemed like a joke that Hawkeye can be, and them can be. And you cannot make Daredevil's not a kid character. He is an adult hero. He has adult problems. He deals with very violent murders. A lot of literally several of his bad guys are serial killers. I mean, who's the guy that is Bullseye? Legit a serial killer. Vincent D'Onofrio character, serial killer. Kingpin, serial killer. You cannot make these, and this is why it's failing. It seemed like, I don't know what deal Robert Downey Jr. and them had to where their product could not be watered down, and it had to be authentic, and they could have adult situations. But everybody outside of that and after that, everything is just a big joke. It's ha ha he he. It's funny 24/7. And this show's dead. This show is dead because it's not going to allow it. They don't know how to make adult content. And that sounds, I don't even talk about like rated R, people getting their head decapitated. They just don't know how to make, and they're refusing to make adult content. Disney is a kid prioritized company in which they do it with Star Wars, they do it with everything. And everything is like just basically almost damn near programming the youth into these agendas, the BLMs, and all this other stuff, where rather than making good content, didn't Wakanda Forever basically bomb? And rather than looking about what you did wrong in that movie, they were saying, we think people are suffering from superhero fatigue. It's never ever the content they push out. It's always the audience. And so when this bombs, when they come out, he's making jokes. Daredevil makes jokes every now and again, but Matt Murdock is a very troubled character. Very troubled. He has his inner demons, his rage that drives him. He's kind of Batmanish, fighting not to go over the edge as far as killing to bring justice, and the person that is involved with his father's killing is still around. That's Kingpin. How you gonna kid that up? You gonna have him joking and smiling and laughing 24/7? I'm tired of DC. I've watched literally after WandaVision. I don't think I've really watched anything to conclusion. I dipped and dabbled. I took certain glances, and this is the reason why I don't know if you heard. They don't know if I think they didn't know if they was going to pick up Bernthal's version of Punisher. You know why they're not going to pick up the Bernthal version of main character version of Punisher? You cannot kidify, Disney-fy the Punisher. You can't. There's characters like Mephisto. They're already working on Mephisto. I did a video on that. You can't Disney-fy him. I mean, he's involved in some of the most sinister acts. Pregnancy by force. Stuff like that. And bringing forth very meaningful characters. So, what do you like? This is dead. I just wish at this point Disney didn't even get the rights to Marvel, because it's just gonna be trash. They'll find some way to put a BLM or some kind of agenda in there that has no business being in there. And they'll force it in there just to get their views up, or what they think, to push whatever propaganda they have. And once this show falls to the wayside, it'll be another, maybe it's superhero fatigue, or they'll blame it on the fans not, white men, or the fans not getting behind whatever agenda they're pushing. That's proof that agenda actually has a legit leg to stand on. That the fact that they crammed it down your throat and you refuse to swallow it rather than vomit it. I'm disappointed. But let me know what your comments down below is. Another good show bites the dust. That's all I can say. This is Revos. I'm out.